Bitcoin, as squirrely as can be. I'll get to the action in 1 minute. I want to explain this trade you see I have open down here. I'm basically dollar cost average in a short position. I want to show this trade so I don't confuse people with what I'm doing. I'm not telling anyone to do this. This is just informational purposes. The recent action is why I wouldn't suggest trying to day trade unless you're highly skilled, unless you're like a crypto face or a Jason Casper with a product like a market cipher. Jason Casper, if you want to go over to his channel, he teaches that kind of stuff. I would suggest holding off on that until there's a more peaceful time in the price action. But what I'm doing here is what I'm comfortable with. As you can see, this site I'm on, I have $49 realized profit right here. So I'm almost 13% up. Kind of ignore the rest of these numbers. They're kind of skewed. They're not really actually right because I'm reinvesting what they pay me. So those numbers are really confusing. I'm not even going to try to explain them. My liquidation price is $77,855. My entry price is $51,984. It's soon to be $52,000. So right now I'm going to throw in this free money they're giving me. My screen recorder will slow this down. Well, market price. I need to refresh the page, but I have to be the maker of the order. So this is a limit order. I need to get in quick. My screen recorder is fighting me. So it's just $1, but it's a free dollar. So 77855 is my liquidation price. And watch when this order fills. Order just filled. My liquidation price is 77865. So $1 brought my liquidation price up $10. My entry price now is $51,991. So I'm not saying for anyone to do this. I kind of created this little system. I started it back here. It's not a polished deal, but I started through here, and here I was on the verge of starting to eyeball and being able to buy a house with cash. That's my plan here, is to buy a house with cash or mostly cash. My plan is, because I don't like taking money out of this market. It doesn't feel right to me. So, then I was going to either take a loan out or take a loan out against my crypto or whatever, but I didn't have enough time, right? There was a major crash here and it washed me out. I was using the same system with little long positions. So it's little tiny increments. I'm basically dollar cost averaging. Basically what I'm doing is making it so it doesn't matter if I make mistakes, right? Dollar cost averaging, in theory, you just keep buying little tiny amounts. So the only threat to me losing this trade, as you can see, my liquidation price is currently right here, way up here. So if there's some glorious, magnificent pump, even if, like, say we're going to 100,000, I could stick like $400 or $500 in here, and I could jerk my liquidation price way up to like 120,000, right? So that's the key to how I stay successful here. So I'm getting paid free money to have this open, and my whole theory is that at some point, no matter if it goes up to 120,000, which I think is highly unlikely, it's coming down. I actually want it to, right? I'm shorting, and I actually want it to go to 120,000. I want it to. I just don't think it will. Say it comes out and say the top is 73,000. It's going to come down, right? So that's the whole theory. I didn't have my money ready to go here. If I had my money here ready to go here, I'd be able to probably get out. My entry price would probably be 60,000, and if I wanted to, I could have got out now and started over. So what I'm going to get to, I don't want to have to explain what I'm doing, but just basically in a nutshell, how I'm trading this is totally different, right? So I asked my viewers a while back if they wanted me to say Bitcoin could go up and here's the target, and Bitcoin could go down and here's the target. Do you want those kind of videos, or do you want my opinion videos of what I think is going to happen? And I don't have a lot of viewers, but everyone that replied said opinion. We want your opinion. Your opinion. You're pretty close. Opinion. So that's why I'm giving my opinion. And there's so many channels on YouTube that can give out, here's a target, right? And that's, it's just, they're not exactly right? If you say Bitcoin can go up or Bitcoin can go down, and the next day you say you're exactly right, that's not true, right? You gave both. You gave both possible scenarios. Anyways, if you want those kind of channels, you can easily find those. If you missed it, there was a crash. It came down to 57,465. If you blinked, you missed it. You may be listening right now, say, there was no crash. What are you talking about? I missed it myself because it happened within, I think, a minute or two. I want to go to the 5-minute chart and show you what I'm talking about. This wick here on the last daily candle was actually up here at like 58,100 or so, right in that ballpark. And I looked and the wick was down here, but the candle body was way back up here at like 62. And I was like, what in the world is going on? So let's zoom in and let me show you what I'm talking about, how squirrely this action is. Look at that right there, folks. Look at that. My goodness. See that right there? My last video, I said nosedive, crash incoming now. Watch this video now. And you might be saying, what are you talking about? There was no crash. Yes, there was. Look at this. Look at this, folks. 61,200. Let's measure this sucker. And this is the 5-minute chart. And this red candle here is 5 minutes. The price of Bitcoin. Well, let's go up here where 2 before. So this is 15 minutes. Each one of these candles is 5. But let's see. Let's see on my daily chart. On my daily chart. Let's measure it on a daily chart. That would be, say, here. And the daily chart, that was a 7.2% dump. If you blinked, you missed it. That's nothing to sneeze at. That's they call that a flash crash. There it is. I'll go back to the daily chart and measure. Let's measure the individual 5-minute candle. In 5 minutes, the price of Bitcoin dumped 6%. Look at that. And then the next candle, the very next 5 minutes, 4.3% back. 10 minutes later, almost 6% of it back. And then, what's that, about an hour later? I can't even, that's just so squirrely. It's unbelievable. About an hour later, it was back up into that channel at a 9.3% gain. So I bet the other YouTube channels out there are just going nuts talking about this. This is extremely, in my opinion, this is bizarre and squirrely. What I think this was a trigger, a failed trigger for one of those cascading events that I've been talking about. I think it might have been a failed trigger. This dump could be over, or it could just be getting started. This candle right now that closes at 7 p.m. tomorrow on the 29th is the futures close on the CME market, the monthly Bitcoin expiration date. And if you like watching Bitcoin price action, there's no better time to watch than right now. I have no idea what's about to happen. No, absolutely no idea. This could be, if you've been watching my videos, this could be the start of that November pump that I've been talking to you about, right? No matter where it bottoms out. Or this could still dump, right? This is extremely, extremely volatile. This daily candle right now is total indecision. This last one it closed was kind of indecision as well. The last candle, what happened is it opened at 58.4 or so. It came down a little bit, and then it pumped up to 61,300. It dropped back down a little bit, and then it pumped way back up to like right in here, about 62,100, 200 or so. And then that flash crash happened. It came all the way back down here and went down below the original wick and came all the way down here. This is where that flash crash stopped, about 57,400. And then it jerked all the way back up here, right? To 62,800, all the way back into that channel. And it came right smashing back down. So it's up and down and up and down. Crash and dump, or crash and pump, dump and pump, dump and pump. Ascending channel I have in here will probably be irrelevant in the next 24 to 48 hours. You know what? Shoot, that's actually really similar still. It's just happened about 4 days sooner than the one I've been comparing it to. Look at that, folks. Look at that. This price action comes back up and kind of goes sideways. And then this next pump, this is where the channel is no longer relevant. I mean, you could continue. You could continue this, I suppose, if you really wanted. Let's see. It doesn't really match up. It doesn't really match up anywhere. It kind of does a little bit. She did something like that. So that's interesting. This could be the pump that goes to 73,000. This is one of the things I want to tell you. If you're new to my channel, these vertical lines are the monthly, last Friday of the month, that's futures expiration date. What happens is people, the composite man plays the futures market. They come over here and manipulate the price. So I believe that may have been, that little flash crash, that may have been a cascading event trigger that I've talked about. A trigger sets these off. It'll start a liquidation, a stop loss order, sell off, a long squeeze, a liquidation, a panic selling, profit taking, cascading waterfall. I think that's what that was, but I think there was enough bullish sentiment out there and enough buy orders to stop it, because that was an amazing turn of events, right? So someone out there either sold a massive amount of Bitcoin, somebody something somewhere did something. It might have just been a straight sell, and they were looking, like I was saying, the manipulation to tomorrow's Bitcoin futures close on the CME market. That may have been that manipulation trigger, and it failed. It failed at 57,400. That may have been what that was. Somebody, something, some things wanted this cascading event to trigger, right? And so then this can happen first week, second week of November, whatever. That could have been a total failure, and this could be the start of the new pump. Watch for it to kind of go sideways, kind of chill out, and kind of be in no man's land, and then probably what's likely is the pump. This could be the 70,000 pump. Could be, and then late November, watch for the dump, and then December, right? Who knows for sure? I wouldn't be surprised if it looked like something like that, or maybe there's still a dump coming like this, and then it comes up here and plays out. So basically, what I'm describing is this is just the same thing. It's been playing out since the last week of December 2020. That's the monthly pump and dump. Right now, it's a stalemate. This guy right here is just it's tug of war, like the game of tug of war, two equal teams tugging. And the expiration date on the Bitcoin CME futures market is coming up in a matter of hours. It's coming up. This is going to be really, really interesting and fun to watch. So future reference, always be sure I'm not talking about day trading when I give out my info. So in conclusion, there could be another trigger, another cascading waterfall trigger event. Someone or some things out there could try another trigger for that, for this to dump down, right? And they want to cause pain for the CME futures players. There could also be a pump for that as well, but in the history of Bitcoin, it's been dumps in this year. So one characteristic of what happens at this time in the month is sometimes it will come down here and bottom out. It'll pump back up around this expiration date, and then it could be kind of a double bottom scenario. It'll come back down to like the 57,500, 400 area. And then the November pump will start, like, the end of the first week in November. On the daily chart, that's common. I don't know why my line's drawn like that, but I can't stop it when I'm zoomed in. So that's a common characteristic, a little double bottom on the daily chart, and then the November pump. Where this bottoms out, this will pump. When the bottom and pump comes, it should make itself clear. No man's land in a nutshell right now, currently. Tug of war. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, thanks for watching.